I was driving today and enjoying the freedom of getting out of the house and took my kids to the ocean front. As we were driving back, my mind started to wander. And I just started thinking about the Lord and things that have tried to knock on my door. And I said, Lord, those things knocked. They were some generational things. They were some cyclical things that have kind of occurred or could have occurred. And I said, Lord, why didn't they get me down? Why didn't they take me out? They tried to. I said, when they knocked on my door, what happened? And he said, I answered the door. I answered the door. This whole picture of Jesus being the guy who answers my door made so much sense to me. That my life and my relationship with him is as simple as a house. And Jesus answers the doorbell. He answers the knock on the door. And he says, don't get up. I got it. And then you say, hey, Jesus, who was it? Don't worry about it. Just someone wanting to tell you you're not worthy. Just depression. Just lack and depravity. I told him to go away. How many times in my life have I answered the door? And Jesus said, don't get it. I got it. And I would say, no, I'm going to answer it. I'm going to take this job. How many times have I done that? I'm going to solve this problem. I'm going to figure out how to make more money. I'm going to fix this person. I got it. Because you think if Jesus answers the door, you're going to lose something. But what he does is he answers the door and he protects you. Because he has something so much greater. Because when he answers the door, he only lets the right stuff, the glorious stuff, the stuff that's meant to give you a confident hope that exceeds your understanding. Your eye couldn't see it. Your ears couldn't hear it. Your mind couldn't even conceive it. He brings in the wonder and the whimsy. So if you answer the door to the wrong person or the wrong thing or the wrong thought, because essentially that's where every knock starts. It starts with a, hey, you're not worthy. Hey, you don't need to wait on that. Go ahead and make the decision. Go ahead and give in. You deserve it. Whatever lie, it starts here, and then it becomes your thoughts, and then it becomes your belief, and then it becomes your actions, and then it becomes a habit, then it becomes a stronghold. So I started looking at, what does the Word of God say in relation to this whole analogy? And of course the Psalms surfaced, right? The Psalms surfaced. And I thought of Psalm 91. He that dwells in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. I will say of the Lord, he is my refuge and my fortress, my God, in him I will trust. He's my strong tower. He's my refuge. I abide in him. In the shelter of the Most High. The Passion Translation, get this. When you sit enthroned under the shadow of Shaddai, you are hidden in the strength of God Most High. The enemy thinks you live there, but then Jesus answered the door. He's the hope that holds me and the stronghold to shelter me, the only God for me and my great confidence. He will rescue me from every hidden trap of the enemy. He will protect me from false accusation and any deadly curse. Disease, plague, pandemic knocks on your door, he answers it. What if you're not letting Jesus in? He doesn't live in your heart. He's not in your house. Psalm 61 says, "For no matter where I am, even when I'm far from home, I will cry out to you for a father's help. When I'm feeble and overwhelmed by life, guide me into your glory where I am safe and sheltered." John 10 says that Jesus is the gatekeeper. Very truly I tell you, I am the gate for the sheep. All who have come before me are thieves and robbers, but the sheep have not listened to them, because I am the gate. Whoever enters through me will be saved. They will come in and go out and find pasture. So I'm reading this book called Traveling Light. Josephine gave it to me. Love you, Josephine. And this is what Max Lucado says about green pastures. And of course it talks about Psalm 23, he maketh me lie down in green pastures. He says, hence when David says he makes me to lie down in green pastures, he is saying, my shepherd makes me lie down in his finished work. The finished work of the cross. Where everything is done. Every enemy is under our feet. Every disease has been put on Jesus. Every thought of depression, every thought of ending it all, every form of stress or anxiety, it finds its completion in the cross. With his own pierced hands, Jesus created a pasture for the soul. He tore out the thorny underbrush of condemnation. He pried loose the huge boulders of sin. In their place, he planted seeds of grace and dug ponds of mercy. So if you're like me and Jesus didn't answer every knock at the door, there are ponds of mercy, seeds of grace, pools of forgiveness. You are not alone. At any time, he will come and he will knock on your door and you will answer it. And I guarantee you, if you knock on his, he will open that door. Knock and it shall be opened. Ask and you will receive. He owns it all. So rest in that. Rest in that and receive his forgiveness for letting other people answer your door and you answering your door instead of letting the King of Kings, the gatekeeper, Jesus, the shepherd of the sheep, answer the door. But let's just make a decision right now. Jesus, answer my door. Whether you are a mature Christian or just starting out or just getting your head around it, thoughts are where it all ends and begins for us. It can take down the mightiest of mighty Christians, and it can take down the weakest of weak. It starts here. So just renew your mind to, he is my shelter. He is my fortress. I want to abide in the shadow of the Almighty more than the shadow of death. But he will lead me through the valley of the shadow of death. Jesus, answer my door. That's all you got to pray. He knows what you mean. Jesus. Got it. Love it. Good Jesus.